Hello, Geometry Advanced students. So today we're going to talk about, or I should say, talk more about volume of prisms. So we're going to go over some that we know how to do already, and then we're going to take a look at some with different bases as well. So before we begin, just a reminder, the volume of a prism, if it's a rectangular, and that is one option, if it's a rectangular prism, to find the volume, you can always do length times width times height. But reminder, that only works if it's a rectangular. If it's a prism, just in general, you can always do volume equals area of the base times the height. So again, capital B represents area of the base, and again, H represents the height of your prism, okay? So we're gonna take a look at two rectangular ones, and then we're gonna take a look at two additional ones where the base is different. So in number one here, this is a rectangular prism, and the reason that I know that is because if you look at it, the base is a rectangle, or I could actually say this is a square prism, because notice there, if I highlight it in there in yellow, the base is a square. So again, I could, if I wanted to, do length times width times height. That's probably the easiest way to do it. So my length, it looks like, is 3 feet. My width is also 3 feet, and the height here is showing is 4 feet. So if you don't know your multiplication facts, you want to grab a calculator. Otherwise, we could do this without it. 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 4 is 36. And remember, volume is in cubic units. If I was trying to fill this rectangular prism with little cubes, okay, if they're a foot by a foot by a foot, it would take 36 of them to fill this box. Okay, let's look at my second example over here. Again, I want to find the volume. This is a rectangular prism. The base, and depending on how you look at it, I'm looking as the base is this little narrow thing there, that little rectangle. So again, volume, I could do length times width times height. So in this situation, the length would be 12 miles. The width would be 2 miles, and it looks like the height is 7 miles. Bring out a space there. Okay, so again, length times width times height. So if I take 12 times 2, or 2 times 12, that's 24, and take that times 7, that's going to give me 168. Again, volume is in cubic units, so it would be cubic, in this case, cubic miles. Okay, so these first two we did had a rectangle for a base. The other two we're going to do, again, are going to have a different base. So if I look at number 3 here, okay, this is the base. Again, if there's a shape in the figure that is not a rectangle, or a square for that matter, then that's going to be your base. Notice the two bases, that would be the bottom, this would be the top. Okay, so again, if it's not rectangular, if it's just a prism with a different type of base, I have to do the area of the base times the height. So again, the base, I'm going to just state it here, the base is a triangle. And to find the area of a triangle, again, it's the base and the height of the triangle divided by 2. Okay, so again, I'm going to multiply this out to find the area of the base. So again, I'm focusing on this triangle here. The base of my triangle is 9. The height of the triangle is 6. So I'm going to take 9 times 6 and divide it by 2. And then I'm going to multiply that by the height of the prism, which it shows here is 11. So extra information that you did not need in the problem was that this side is 7 and that side is 8. Again, not needed in the problem. So again, to figure this out, what I want to do first is do this particular calculation. So 9 times 6 is 54. 54 divided by 2 is 27. So the area of the triangle is 27. We're going to multiply that by the height of the prism, which is 11. And 27 times 11 is 297. And again, volume is in cubic units, so it would be cubic centimeters. So again, it would take this many cubes to fill this prism. Now, the last one maybe is the most challenging one on this page, if you would say that any of these are challenging. But if I'm looking at this, remember I said if there's a shape in your prism that is not a rectangle or a square, then that's going to be your base. And this one, what shape is that? If I pause for a moment, hopefully you'll recognize it. But again, what shape is that? Okay, hopefully you are thinking that the base is a trapezoid. So to find, if I'm going to do area of the base times the height, to find the area of a trapezoid, remember it's the height of the trapezoid times the sum of the bases divided by 2. So again, that's what I'm going to use for this capital B, the area of the base. Okay, so if I'm looking at my picture, again, if I'm focusing on this trapezoid first, the height of the trapezoid is this little segment here that it's pointing to. So the height is 3.5. The two bases of the trapezoid are 5 inches. And then the other one, if this is 9 inches, this one here is 9 inches as well. So I'm going to do 3.5 for the height of the trapezoid times the sum of the bases, 5 plus 6. And then I have to divide that by 2. That is my capital B. And then the height of the trapezoid, since it's laying on its sides, the height is this length, which is the same as this length, which is the same as this length. So the height of your trapezoid is 12. So I need to figure out the area of the base here and then multiply that by 12. So if you need to, you're going to grab a calculator. 5 plus 9 is 14. So if I take 14 times 3.5, that gives me 49. And I have to divide that by 2 since it's a trapezoid. So the area of the trapezoid is 24.5 square inches. I need to multiply that by the height of the trapezoid, which is 12. So if I take 24.5 times 12, we get a volume of 294, and in this case, it's cubic inches. So again, our focus for today is going to be prisms that have different bases. Like I said, the first two are rectangular prisms, which are probably the easiest ones to deal with. And then we had a triangular prism and a trapezoidal prism. Okay. As always, if you have questions, please let me know.